Chapter 5. I enter the passcode given to me by the real estate agent. The gate is wrought iron and shakes as it slides unsure across the gravel driveway as if it's struggling to remember how to operate. The bed and breakfast is a two-story old Victorian style mansion overlooking acres of dense trees. It's stark white with a red front door and from what I can remember six bedrooms upstairs and a couple downstairs. At first glance, the property looks the same as it did last year, just more vacant. The parking lot is empty, no guests walking the grounds. The first time I pulled into this place, I remember there being an energetic buzz as everyone was preparing for Aspen and Chad's wedding. It was in the height of the summer. So the grass was green and the lawn was manicured. Right now, the ground looked to be in limbo, waiting for spring to bring back all the life that was murdered by winter. It looks the same, I say, putting the car in the park even though it doesn't really look the same at all. It looks lonelier. Leila says nothing. I open my door and cannot help noticing the emptiness in the air. No smells, no sounds, no birds chirping. It's quiet now, and I sort of like that. I welcome the idea of being in the heart of the country with Leila again. With the bonus of complete isolation, we grab our suitcases from the trunk. I pull both of them up the porch steps while Leila uses the keypad and the code given to me by the realtor to open the door. I step inside first and immediately notice the smell in is different. I don't remember it smelling like mothballs at the wedding last year. Hopefully, there are candles we can light to overpower that scent. Leila takes a step over the threshold, and as soon as she does, she shudders. She lifts a hand to the wall like she is trying to steady herself. You okay? She nods. Yeah, I just. She closes her eyes for a few seconds. It's cool in here, and my head hurts. I kind of want to take a nap. It's not cold, it's actually kind of stuffy, but her arms are covered in goosebumps. I will find the thermostat, leave your suitcase, and I will bring it to our old room for you in a second. I head into the kitchen to search for the thermostat. It's not in the kitchen, but I am relieved to see the realtor delivered the groceries. I wouldn't normally ask someone to grocery shop for me, but she offered, but I tipped her well. I wasn't sure they would allow us to stay here, so I alluded to the fact that I am interested in buying the place and wanted a trial run. I haven't mentioned that to Leila, though. I wanted to check the place out first, see if we love it as much as we did when we were first there. I am not so sure. The look that's been on Leila's face since we pulled into the driveway conveys a desire to live here. Though if anything, she looks ready to leave. I walk toward the grand room to see if that's where the thermostat is located. I am relieved to see the baby grand piano is still here. The lid is shut and there is a fine layer of dust over it, which makes me sad. A piano this beautiful deserves to be played, but by the looks of it, I might have been the last person to have touched it. I run my fingers across the top of the piano, clearing a line of dust away. I didn't know what to expect when I was told this place was vacant. I was worried that meant the owners moved the piano out, but all the same, furniture is still here. Leila knows this is as much of a work trip as it is a vacation. I have an album to write, so I plan on using the pianos as much as I can without making Leila feel like music is my priority these next 2 weeks. Hell, she will probably make it my priority. She wants me to finish this album more than I want to finish it myself. I leave the grand room after failing to find the thermostat. I glance down the hallway and see Leila peeking into a room. She closes the door and then continues walking and opens the door to a second room. She seems confused as if she cannot remember where our room was. She starts to close the door. It's upstairs, Leila. She startles when I say that, spinning around. I know. She points to the room she was about to walk past and heads inside. I just need to use the restroom first. She slips inside the bathroom and closes the door. She just used the restroom 20 minutes ago at the gas station. Sometimes I feel like her memory loss is worse than she admits. I have thought about testing her, maybe bringing up something that never happened just to see if she would pretend to remember it. That's conniving, though I already feel enough guilt as it is. I hear the water begin to run in the bathroom just as I locate the thermostat next to the well. It reads 71 degrees. I am not sure if I want it warmer than that, but I bump it up a few degrees for her so that the heat can eat away whatever chill she is feeling. I make my way to the living room, if only to inspect all the areas of the house I never entered last time I was here. It has a very unwelcoming feel, as if the room isn't meant for living at all. A light cream colored sofa and matching love seat are angled toward a fireplace. A stiff brown leather chair sits next to a table strategically piled with books. There is only one window in the room, but the curtains are drawn so the room is dark. I passed by the room a few times when I was here last, but I never utilized it. There were always people in here, but now those figures are replaced by shadows. I don't necessarily like this room as much as I like the grand room. Maybe because Leila and I connected in the grand room, there is a history for us in there. This room feels unconnected to us. If this house is the heart of the country, this room is the gallbladder. If we end up buying this place, this would be the first room I would strip bare. I would knock out part of the wall and add more windows. I would fill it with furniture that Leila could spill cereal on or red wine. I would make it livable. Nothing has felt like home to us since Leila was released from the hospital. Neither of us wanted to go back to my place in Franklin, understandably, but I didn't feel right getting a new place without Leila having a say. So I leased a temporary apartment near the hospital, and that's where I took her when she was discharged. I have been dragging my feet on buying something permanent. I am not sure I want a place in Franklin or Nashville even. I look at houses a lot, but until I saw this place for sale, I hadn't felt drawn to anything. There is something about this place, though. Maybe it's because I met Leila here, maybe it's because being in the literal heart of the country really is grounding in some way, or maybe it's because it's an entire day's drive from Nashville, and I really like the idea of getting out of of that town. Whatever it is, I am not here just because I wanted a vacation. I am here because I want time to focus on my music and I want Leila to find peace. I feel like this is the only place that can give us that. The seclusion would be perfect for us. She would feel safe. I spin around at the sound of Leila screaming. I immediately run across the room and towards the bathroom, and I hear glass shattering. Leila, I swing open the door and she looks at me with two fearful eyes. I immediately reach for her hand because there is a blood on her knuckles. Shards of mirror line the bottom of the sink. I glance up and the bathroom mirror is shattered. It looks like someone put a fist right to the center of it. What happened? Leila shakes her head. She looks from the broken mirror to all the glass in the sink. I don't know. I was just washing my hands in the mirror shattered. There is an obvious indentation in the mirror as if someone punched it, but I cannot imagine why Leila would do that. Maybe it was already broken before she started washing her hands and the movement jarred the glass out of place. I will grab the first aid kit out of the car. She is in the kitchen when I return from the van, and just like earlier, I care for her wounds. I don't ask her questions. She seems shaken up. Her hands are trembling. When I am finished, I take the first aid kit with me and grab one of our suitcases. I will email the realtor about the mirror. I tell her that could have done some serious damage. She grabs the other suitcase and follows me upstairs. I can tell she was rattled from that incident. I have to stop treating her like she is incapable of caring of herself for herself, though she is capable, she is strong, she is incredible, and I am going to be the one to remind her of that because she seems to have forgotten. Chapter 6. If I were not striving to be a musician, I would be a chef. There is something calming about cooking. I never was much of a cook before Layla's surgery. She taught me a few things when she moved in with me, but after she got injured, I didn't feel comfortable with her exerting too much energy. So I started doing the cooking. I have mastered soup mostly because it was all Layla was never in the mood for while she was recovering. She was upstairs unpacking. I made sure to unpack my shoes myself and put them in the closet so she won't see the ring. I came downstairs to start dinner. I wanted to try and start this trip outright, so I am making pasta, her favorite. I have learned a lot since she has been out of the hospital, mostly from her mother, Gail. She stayed with us for the few weeks after Layla's release. She wanted to take Layla back to Chicago with her, but thankfully Layla didn't want to go. I didn't want Layla to go. I felt like it was on me to help her recover since what happened to her never would have happened had I been more protective of her. I have admit it was an adjustment. I had only met Leila 2 months before she spent a month in the hospital. Right after that, her mother temporarily moved into our already crammed new apartment. In less than 3 weeks, I went from always having lived alone as an adult to living with my girlfriend, her mother, and a couple of times her sister Aspen. The apartment I leased was only one bedroom, so the couch was always occupied and an air mattress took up most of the rest of the living room. I was glad when her mother finally went back to Chicago, but not because I didn't like her. It was just a lot. Everything we had been through, not really feeling like we had our own space. And then watching Layla struggle to fall back into step with her life, I just craved normalcy. We both did. But it wasn't all bad. I got to know Layla's family and I quickly became aware of why I fell in love with her in the first place. They are all very charismatic, open people. Hell, I even kind of like Chad Kyle. I have only seen him once since the wedding, and like Layla suggested, he is a bit of a Dutch bag, but he is funny. I am kind of looking forward to their visit on Friday. Once I get all the ingredients into the pot, I dry my hands on a dish towel and then run upstairs to check on Layla. She was unpacking when I decided to start cooking, but that was over half an hour ago, and it's been quiet upstairs since then. I haven't heard her walking around. When I opened the door, I find Layla asleep on the bed and unpacked suitcase is still open. She is snoring lightly. It's been a long day. This is her first trip since being released from the hospital. I can imagine it's taken a toll on her, so I start quietly unpacking the suitcases while she sleeps. Every now and then I will glance at her and I am taken back to the days we first spent here. Every single second with her felt like an awakening, like I would never really open my eyes until she came along. I was blind, but now I see. That's how Layla made me feel. It was like someone let all the air back into my life when I had no idea I was even suffocating. What I wouldn't give to go back to that feeling before we were unfairly robbed of it. We were comfortably. We were comfortable in my house in Franklin. Layla didn't have trouble sleeping at night. She wouldn't look over her shoulder every time we were in public. I walk over to where Layla is asleep on the bed, and I touch her hair, pushing it gently behind her ear. They had to shave a section of her hair during the surgery, so she wears her bare parted now to cover up the regrowth. I brush her hair away and look at the scar. I am thankful for it. I know she hates it, and she does everything she can to cover it up. But sometimes I look at it while she is asleep because it's a reminder of what I almost lost. Layla flinches a little, so I pull my hands away just as the smell of something burning enters the room. I look forward the doorway, confused because there is no way the soup could already be burning. It's been less than 10 minutes since I turned the gas stove top on. I walk to the top of the stair and see a dark cloud of smoke drifting out of the entryway to the kitchen. As soon as I start to descend the stairs, I hear a crash come from the kitchen. It's so loud I feel it in my chest. I rush down the rest of the stairs, and when I get to the kitchen, soup is everywhere. I scan the stove, the floor, the walls. I wave the smoke out of my face and try to figure out what needs saving first. There is no fire though, just a bunch of smoke and a huge ass mess. I am starting at it all in shock when Leila runs down the stairs. She passes in the entryway to the kitchen and takes in the mess. What happened? I walk to the stove to turn off the burner, but when I reach for the knob, the burner isn't even on. It's been switched to the off position. My arm falls down to my side. I look at the burner, then look at the pan on the other side of the kitchen. Why is the sink on? Leila asks. There is a stream of water running from the faucet. I don't remember leaving the water on. I walk over to it to turn it off and notice something in the bottom of the sink, a burnt rag. The same rag I wiped my hands on right before running upstairs. The rag obviously caught fire because it's burnt to a crisp. But how did it end up in the sink? How is the water on? Who turned off the stove? Who knocked over the pan of soap? I immediately walk to the front door, but it's locked from the inside. Layla follows me. What are you doing? I know there is a back door, but if someone knocked the pan off the stove as I was descending the stairs, I would have seen them heading toward the back door. There is no other exit to the kitchen. I walk back to the kitchen and look at the window. It's also locked from the inside. Leeds, you are scaring me. I shake my head. It's fine, Leila, I say reassuringly. I don't want to worry her. If I act like I cannot explain this, it will cause unnecessary concern. I caught the rag on fire, accidentally knocked the soap off the stove trying to put it out. I rub my hands up her arms. I am sorry, I will clean it up. I will help you, she asks. She says. I let her. I would rather her be in the same room because I am not sure what the fuck just happened.